All I'm saying is that there's a problem on YouTube. YouTube doesn't care about their content creators. Because if they did, they wouldn't allow that. It's okay to bully fat people because we're not under a protected status. So that's okay. If I were YouTube, I'd be careful about that, because if somebody ends up hurting themselves because of the bullying they allow, even after it being reported, I mean, that's blood on their hands. And all of you who support channels who bully others, it's on your hands too.
Are you sick and tired of not getting your way whenever you want? Do people have the nerve to treat you like a normal member of society? Have you been accused of saying something racist and don't know how to shift focus? Introducing Entitled White Women's Tears, the revolutionary new solution that'll keep you looking your victimist.
Welcome to Chantel Marie's public service announcements. We know that you want to know, if you know what we mean. Some of you may be wondering, what is a protected characteristic? Does it mean that some groups have some sort of unfair extra advantage over others? Well, historically, yes, unfortunately. In fact, whole groups of people have been discriminated against and many times quite cruelly oppressed because of things they cannot change, such as their age or their race, or because of their affiliation to certain fundamental social institutions like religion. This means that they have been subject to dehumanizing policies and practices, such as being prevented from voting, from earning fair wages, from circulating freely in public, and many have even come to senseless and tragic deaths. Equality Acts were created to stop this oppression and discrimination and guarantee equal and universal access to services and benefits like employment, housing, public education, and, if available, public health. Not so that anyone would be better than anyone else, but to correct the systematic mistreatment of anyone as if they were less than anyone else. It is worth noting that from very specific instances of oppression against certain groups in certain eras, protected characteristics have come to shield all of us. Let's use YouTube as a workplace, for example. All female content creators are protected against discrimination based on their biological sex. But so are males, because sex is a protected characteristic for all. Content creators are protected against discrimination because of their religion, any religion, and so are atheists, because religion is a protected characteristic for all. So, on the YouTube platform, an American one, if one were a Caucasian female content creator of no particular religion, living with her partner with no formal ceremony or marriage license, whether one knew it or not, one would already be the beneficiary of the equality and human rights framework that protects one against discrimination and unfair treatment in terms of opportunities and rewards on YouTube. Protects us against prejudice and oppression based on one's race, sex, religion, and partnered relationship. This was not always the case.
Well, Mr. Bradshaw, what's on your mind?
Bearings, Inspector.
She's a good one, too. Just look at that record.
Okay, now, Walt, you've had your little joke. Give her to somebody else. I asked for a man.
We don't have a man with her qualifications. Seriously, Brad, If you treat her right, she might make you a darn good employee.
What do you mean, treat her right?
Get that chip off your shoulder. What's wrong with her?
She's a woman, isn't she?
Before we end this video, we would like to encourage you to check the list in the description box of a few human rights museums that provide some amazing and educational material online to remind all of us of the blood and hands from the past that allow us to enjoy freedoms that we may take for granted today.
That I'm just gonna say what I want to say from now on. I'm gonna eat how I want to eat. I'm gonna eat what I want to eat. And if you don't like it, you know what to do. Don't let the door hit you, where the good Lord splits you.
Next, in part 2 of this series, Chantal Marie's PSA will inform you about disability, obesity, and claims of merit. After all, is it ever all right to be called fat or even smelly in the workplace? Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned.